Welcome back to the Midnight Memo. My name is Claire.
And I'm Kristen.
And thank you for joining us. This is a podcast where we talk about things that keep us up at night. And as two fellow insomniacs, we know a little thing about having no sleep.
We know a thing or two about a thing or two.
We are high-functioning insomniacs.
Wow.
Is that a thing?
I don't know, but that was such a positive spin on it. Let's keep going with that.
Yeah, giving us some self-love this week. Complimenting and finding the silver linings.
Because I'm not giving myself the self-love of going to sleep.
Exactly. You gotta make up for it in a different area.
Exactly. It's called skincare to take care of the eye bags that I'm holding on my face.
Yes, these bags under my eyes are designed by me.
Yes. Designed by me. Me and my insomniac co-collaboration.
Yes, collaboration with Alani New, I love you, but you do not allow me to sleep. But I'm not saying that's a bad thing.
No, it's not a complaint. It's just a statement.
Yeah, it's just because I'm addicted to Alani New that I drink
You
so much of it,
are.
and then therefore I can't sleep. But it's a good thing. It's because I love him so much.
Did I tell you the story of how my partner didn't let me drink it?
Yeah. He's like,
It was all good intentions, but I was ready to fight him. So, for context, for the rest of the world, I don't do good with caffeine. I don't drink coffee a lot. I like it, I like the taste of it, but I can't drink a lot of it because I will either immediately go to sleep or I'll be like on crack for the rest of the day. There's no in between. And so for that reason, I usually avoid caffeine for the need of it. If it's like, because I want to drink coffee, because I like the taste of coffee stuff, but I try not to drink coffee unless if it's like for a need purpose. But so Claire introduced me to Alani New. We're totally just gonna be Alani New sponsor us. That's what this is gonna be.
This is just begging at this point.
So Claire got started with Alani. Oh my god, this is a year ago now. Because the first time you introduced me to it was when you were moving up to Seattle, and we did a 4-day girls trip, and you had literally a cooler of them strapped in the car. Yeah. No snacks, no nothing. You just had a cooler of Alani New and all your belongings.
That's all you need.
To drive you up from San Diego. So, anyways, Claire had a bunch of them in her cooler, and I was sitting up front with her. She was like, oh, do you pass me one of my energy drinks? Sure, give it to her. And it smelled so good. Like, I cracked it open to pass to her, and it literally just smelled like sugar. And because I don't drink caffeine or coffee, I also don't drink energy drinks. So I was like, oh my god, this smells so good. What is this? Like, I actually wanted to drink some of it. She's like, oh, it's this new energy drink that I've gotten and I'm basically addicted to. Do you want to try some? And I was like, sure. And I tried a little sip, and it was really, really good. But I was feeling bubbles at that point, so I'm not going to drink more. But it was really good. Anyways, I told my partner about it, and he thought it was he was like, if it tastes really good, and he looked it up, it had all these cool flavors. Claire also met my partner at that point and pitched it to him very heavily. So he went and he got a bunch of them. Or not a bunch, but we got a few of them for our apartment. But it was mostly for him. One day I was feeling real low. I was like, I need caffeine. So in a desperation, I reached for one in the fridge. And as I'm about to take one out, my partner, who knows my caffeine history, was like, I wouldn't do that if I were you. And I turned to this man and I was like, excuse me?
What?
I was like, excuse me, what? And he's like, I just don't know if that's a good idea, babe, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, now, and I'm cranky, I'm grumpy, I didn't sleep a lot the night before, so I'm in general ready to pick a fight. And this man decided to test me unintentionally, unbeknownst to him. And he's like, I don't think that's a good idea. And I was like, are you gonna tell me what I can and can't drink? Like, you're gonna tell me not to? He's like, no, I just don't think it's a good idea because of the caffeine. And I'm like, I know it has caffeine. That's why I'm gonna have it. And he's like, but you're not really good with caffeine. So I thought he was trying to pick a fight. He was trying to protect me. And he was just saying all the wrong things, unfortunately. All the incorrect phrasings of why he didn't want me to drink it. So finally, we're reaching a peak. Like, we're about to get into a fight. And he takes the can from me and he shows me the side of... There's literally a warning label that he points out to me on the side of the can that says, warning, do not consume if sensitive to caffeine. Or something like that. because essentially one cans is the equivalent. He told me because he's an avid coffee drinker, so he knows all the caffeine metric thingies. I think it's like 2 or 2.5 cups of coffee in just one can of Alani Nu. He's like, it's literally a lot. So if you have one of these, you will be very unwell. Essentially, yeah. So he was trying to protect me, but in my tired state, I thought he was trying to be like, I don't think you should drink that. Just trying to mansplain to me. So I was ready to fight him, but he was being very nice and sweet. But cranky Kristen was not having it.
Yes, yes. I just introduced my boyfriend to Alani Nu as well, and he tried the cherry slush, which is really good.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, "Oh my god, this is so good."
That's like the new one, right?
I think it's fairly new, yeah.
Okay.
And last week he had come over to cook me some lunch because he had a week off.
Aww.
And so he was like, "Oh, I'll just come over and like cook you lunch while you're working." And I was like, "Okay."
Not gonna say no to free.
I know. I was like, "Okay." And
see the design of the shirt or the pants or whatever you're looking at when you just open the drawer, and you don't want creases
I feel like
in
it
your
belongs
clothes.
in the museum of something.
Your mom
It's
said
so
that.
cool.
Your mom
Yeah.
told me that.
Yeah, one time in college, my mom came to visit us, and I don't know why we ended up looking in your
I think
drawers.
I probably left the drawer open. I probably was in a rush and I left it open, honestly.
Were you there, or was it?
I don't think I was, because you told me about it later.
Okay.
I wasn't there. But I might have just like stepped out of the room and then I came back and you told me. I don't remember completely.
Yeah.
But I remember
I
you
don't
telling me
remember
this.
either. But somehow, my mom and I saw how Kristen organizes her clothes in her dresser, and my mom was like, "Oh my god, like this is amazing!" And I was like, "Don't look at mine." Yes, keep
Mom,
staring at
avert
that.
your eyes.
Yeah,
Shuts closet door closed.
me like really trying to jam all my clothes in, and like to see if it'll shut. Yeah, it's really cool.
Thank you. I take pride in how I organize my closet. My fashion sense, questionable, but my clothes organization, immaculate.
The amount of clothes you have.
Well, that's because I'm a hoarder. There's a reason I need to organize everything. It's because I won't let it go. I am an in denial hoarder. I'm very, well, aware, but also in denial that I'm a hoarder.
Yeah. I'm aware of it. I just don't need help.
Exactly. So I have clothes that definitely should go. I don't wear it, but every time I like try to purge my clothes, I look at it and I'm like, but she's still kind of cute. I could do something with her, and then I keep it for much longer than it's meant to. So that's why I need to organize it to make room for all the things that I'm not letting go. You're very good at that. You're very good at purging your closet or your things when you're like, okay, I have a little too much stuff. Time to trash.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that.
I'm really good at purging my closet, my apartment, things like that. I don't like having a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But then I end up playing myself and I'm left with literally nothing. And then I have to go shopping again, which I guess is fine, but it's not great on my wallet.
Or in college, shopping Kristen's closet.
Yeah.
And then my big beef was you would literally come into my closet, like when we would have cultural events or something. That I feel like that was the biggest one. It's like cultural events. It's like the one time you
During
would
the
really
end of the year.
quote dress up a little more than you normally would in college.
Yeah.
And I had an excess of clothes because, again, this is my toxic trait. And so Claire would be like, can I borrow something? And I'm like, yeah, sure, take whatever you want. And then she would take whatever, put it on, and then look better than me in it. And I'd be so mad.
No.
I'm like, I have not worn that denim dress because it looks horrendous on me and I look like a pilgrim. And then Claire puts it on and puts it in fashion. And I'm like, just leave. Just get out of here. Fucking leave.
You're no longer allowed to take my clothes.
Literally. The audacity this woman has to come into my apartment and make my clothes look better than me. Rude. Just
The audacity that the woman has no clothes, but then decides to throw out the clothes that she does have.
Oh my goodness. Chaos.
I feel like this is also turning into how we're just the opposites of one
I was
another.
gonna say, actually, it's just like our different lifestyle choices.
Yeah.
This is really an intervention about how different we are.
Yeah. While we're the same, we're different.
Ooh, tipping. I have a note.
Oh yeah.
So this is really just like outtakes of previous episodes that we're cycling back to.
Yeah.
In the last episode, when we're talking about customer service, I was making math jokes and Claire was not having it with my math jokes. And I told her about this very proud math moment that I had at a club, slightly intoxicated. And my proud moment was, despite my hindered state, I was able to tip 20% on the bill and make it come out to a whole rounded number, because another one of my toxic traits is I need the bill to come out to an even number. Or not an even number, but it needs to end in a nice cent amount, whether it's like 50 cents or $1. Like it needs to look like a clean number, because if it's like $12.93, I will twitch. I cannot do. And I get, sometimes you see the bill and you're like, okay, I'll just tack a whole $5 onto it and it makes sense. But like when it's like that, it's 93. If you just add 7 more cents, you could have a nice whole number. I can't leave it that way. Can't leave it that way.
Yeah, I definitely could. And in fact, I do.
You're like, I am secure in knowing that I can do that.
I'm secure in knowing that I can even put 3 decimal points afterwards.
Wait, what?
Just imagine the bill comes to $6.43, but I just put 6,430
Ugh.
just to be a jerk.
Chaotic Claire indeed.
Yeah, I've never had the the urge to round the numbers.
I need it too.
Oh, I remember an OCD quirk that I have.
Ooh, yes.
When eating different colored candy,
Oh my gosh.
I like to pair them off. So most recently, I feel like some people do this, but most recently I've been eating like those Airhead bites that I think have 5 different colors that come in the pack.
Sure.
Firstly, I'll get rid of the colors I don't like. Orange, you're gone. And they'll leave me with however many like colors. So say like 4 colors now. And then I'll like line them up to see how many of each color I have.
Yeah.
And then I'll like eat them like a group of red, green, blue, and white. And like then I'll go to the next group of red, green, like the next group of 4.
Do you eat all 4 in the same bite, or do you just like eat one red, one white, one green, one blue? Okay, now cycle back to 1 red, 1 white, 1 blue.
Yeah, that's what I do. And then once I have a weird number, I just don't eat them.
Oh, interesting. Oh. You just don't eat, you just leave them. You trash them.
Yeah.
You don't do
like,
anything.
And if I can't put them in a pair of some sort, then I'm like, I'm not going to eat them.
Interesting. Wow, I didn't know that. That's crazy. That's a weird one. That's
I'm
weird
quirky.
for sure. She's quirky. That's interesting. I haven't heard of that one before. I have heard, and I do this as well, about the eating things in pairs. Like, if I'm eating chocolate chips, I need to eat them 2 at a time. Or like Skittles, I need to have 2 reds at a time. I cannot eat them one by one.
Yeah.
I don't think that's too uncommon.
I don't think so.
I remember one day our professor senior year was telling us about it, and someone was like, that's weird. And I was like, yeah, so weird.
Yeah, that's crazy. Why do you do that?
But like a good amount of people spoke up and were like, no, I kind of do that too. So I think it's not super common, but it's not the most uncommon approach to eating candy. But yeah, you just get so overwhelmed with the unevenness, you're just like, will not eat them anymore.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know if it's like overwhelmed, but I'm just like, oh, there are no more pairs, so I'll just throw them away.
That's weird, dude. That's so interesting. I never knew that about you. Ooh, is there a certain order you get dressed in?
Oh, that's a good question.
Like underwear, then pants, shirt, jackets, you know, like is there an order?
I put on my pants first and then underwear.
Nice.
Just kidding. I don't think so. I think it changes each time. Like sometimes I'll put my pants on first before my bra and shirt. Other times I'll put on my shirt before pants.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a specific order.
Yeah, I don't think I do either. But if anything, I think more often than not, I start with my top and then I move to the pant. I think usually I start my outfit with what's my top gonna look like.
I always rely on the fact that I know my pants will be very dark.
This is true. Ooh, I have a weird ritual.
Oh yeah.
Okay, my friend started me on this, and because I'm superstitious, I was like, oh, if that's a thing, I have to abide by it. It's when you are walking with another person, you guys aren't allowed to split a pole or like a physical barrier, like a pillar or something like that.
Why?
If you split it, it is symbolizing the split in your relationship with that person, or it represents tension and an unforeseen upcoming rift with this person. So I have that.
Interesting.
And she told me about it, and then I just became so aware of it where it bugs me.
Yeah.
So subconsciously, when I walk with people, I will try as much as possible, because I don't want to impose it on other people either, you know, because it's just a weird quirk. But it bugs me now that I know that it could possibly be a superstitious thing, so I can't let it go, but I don't want it to hinder other people. So I'll try, if like I have a group of friends that are walking separately, I'll try to like put them together on one side of a pillar or something, and sometimes that's not possible, so I will go on the side of the people that I like the most that they went on.
Exposed. Everyone who knows you will now go back into their experiences and be like, did Kristen walk on my side?
Or I'll just go in the middle. I'll just choose violence. I'm like, everyone went a different direction, and I'm like, I'm just gonna stay here.
Just walk straight into that pole.
Yeah. And I pointed it out to my partner, so now he does it too, though. So how I undo it too is if you split a pole, is you have to go back around it and then join with the person, sort of a deal. In this example, if there's 2 people walking towards a pillar and you guys each go to a different side, one person has to go back around, go back in front of the pillar, and then now join the second person to one side.
Interesting.
You can't just like, after you've split the pillar, you can't just go join them on that side of the pillar. You have to go back around the pillar. Like follow where you went and then join them.
Interesting. Interesting.
I have that weird superstition, and I pointed it out to my partner. I don't know why. I think we were just talking about it, and I was like, yeah, I have this weird quirk, and he's like, that's a little weird, yeah. But once I exposed myself, I felt comfortable enough that I didn't mind looking like a weirdo undoing pillars around it. I was like, oh, now that you know.
If you ever see Kristen in the street walking around different poles, now you know what's happening.
Yeah, so I didn't feel weird about doing it anymore. So I was like, well, now you know, so I'm gonna go around this pillar. I don't have to hide and pretend I'm weird. Be like, oh no, I need to go lock my car again. Just kidding. Join you on the other side of the garage pillar. But he's also sweet. He like now is conscious of it, or I'll make him do it. Or I'm like, I split the pole last time, so you need to come over here. So he'll go back around the pillar and join me.
Oh my gosh.
He even makes our dog do it sometimes. Like,
Mocha, what are you
for
doing?
like those like little safety poles that are maybe like 3 feet tall, and they're like usually painted yellow in the middle of the road or something.
Yeah.
She's a dog. She goes where she pleases. But sometimes she'll go on one side, and then before my partner would just like kind of lift the leash over it, and then at some point he realizes that is him and the dog splitting the pole. So now he makes the dog walk around it.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
You can't take risk when it comes to superstitions like this, Claire. You can't take the risk.
Yes, they could be detrimental.
Good. You never know.
Yeah, I would chop that up to be a quirk.
I think that falls in the quirk category. Do you have any weird superstitions? I'm trying to think of other ones that I have.
I don't think weird. The only one I actively do, which I don't even know if I believe in, to be quite honest, is if you run a red light.
Oh yeah.
Then I tap the hood or the ceiling of my car so that I don't get a ticket. Which at this point, I haven't gotten a ticket for that.
At this point, we're not gonna mess with the system.
Yeah, but I think that's the only one I have.
I remember that. The first time you did that when I was in your car, I was like, why the frick are you punching the ceiling?
Just got really angry for a second.
You did, but it was so instinctual for you that you were so fast with it. Like both hands were on the wheel, and then it was just boom, and then the other hand was back on the wheel, and I was like, are you okay? Like it was so quick. It was literally just a twitch. You were just like boom, and then back on the wheel, and I was like, you good?
Yes, everything's fine.
Yeah.
I think from this podcast we learned that while we are quite similar, we're also quite different.
We're the same but different.
Exactly. We have our own little quirks and superstitions that we like to follow.
Yes.
I actually learned a lot this podcast.
I know.
Yeah, half the superstitions or quirks that you have, I haven't really heard of before.
I learned about yours too.
Cool.
Like you didn't think you're very quirky, but I think you have a few that we've uncovered in this podcast, in this episode.
Yeah, kind of cool.
Aww.
Still learning about one another. Our relationship will never end.
Exactly.
If you guys have any funny quirks or superstitions, rituals,
please share. I would love to hear it.
Yeah, please share with us. Reach out to us on Instagram or TikTok at The Midnight Memo. You can also email us at themidnightmemo@gmail.com. If you want to support our podcast in any way, we do have a link down in the description of our podcast, so you can click on that.
And don't forget to like this episode and follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so that way you can be notified when our next episode drops next Tuesday. And don't forget to rate us. It really, really helps us out.
All right. I hope y'all can get some sleep and you're not kept up by too many thoughts the rest of the week.
Don't overdose on caffeine.
Yes. Unless you actually want to sleep, maybe. Maybe that's the key.
No.
I'll test it out this week and let you guys know.
Oh no.
For scientific purposes, this will be happening.
All right. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.